Black Politics, Chapter 5, read by author Rashida Brown. As usual, welcome back. And if I stumble on any of my words and mess up, please forgive me. So, welcome to Chapter 5. When you look in the mirror, what do you see? Adara asks, walking through the crowd of a variety of shades of brown people with hairstyles from afros to braids, dreads, fades, and pressed hair. The warehouse space was packed with people who were so close to each other that you could smell the person's breath in front of you. Do you see a strong, black, powerful woman or man? Do you see a smart, talented, creative being? Or do you see a weak, tired man or woman? Do you see a person with no future hopes or dreams? Everyone stood, keeping their eyes and ears on Adara's as she walked through the crowd speaking. What about you? What about when you look at each other? Huh? What do you see? Do you see a friend or a foe? Do you see love or do you see hate? What do you see when you look at each other? How about you, brother? Adara said, pointing to a tall, slim man with a low fade. He pointed to himself, looking around to make sure Adara was talking to him. Adara nodded her head at him. Yes, you, brother. What do you see when you look around at your people? Adara asked. The older male, who appeared to be in his late 50s, looked around the crowd, staring at everyone. I I see a people who are lost, the man answered. Okay, that's good. What about you, Sister? Adara asked, pointing to a young teenage girl who was standing between her parents. She looked at both of her parents for their approval to speak, but instead they both nodded their heads at her. I see people who are weak and scared, the girl responded. What about you? Adara asked, walking up to an older woman who was sitting in the corner fanning herself. I see a bunch of children being raised by a bunch of fools, is what I see. I see young men with their pants hanging off their tail and young women hardly with no clothes on, carrying on like a bunch of hoodlums and whores, the lady said. Some people in the crowd nodded their heads, agreeing with her, while some did not with their arms folded, eyeballing the lady. A few said, I know she didn't. All right, everyone, everybody calm down. Abaddon said, standing in the front of the crowd with a microphone in his hand. Let's respect everyone's opinion, he added, nodded at Adara, giving her the signal to speak again. If we think so negatively about each other, then how do you think other nationalities see us? If we don't take each other seriously or respect each other, why do we expect others to respect us? People will never take us seriously or respect us until we take each other seriously and respect each other. It starts with us, and it begins right here today with us, Adara said, making her way to the front of the crowd. People treat you how they view you, Adara continued. I don't care how they view me. I'm not kissing no white folks' tail, an elderly man said, barely standing up straight, leaning on his walker. No, sir, that's not what I'm saying. You're right, Adara said before the old man interrupted her. I know damn well I'm right, the man said, wiping tobacco from his mouth. Everybody could not help but laugh. It lightened the tension in the room. Look, what I'm saying is we have to stop expecting others to see us differently than how we allow them to see us. That does not mean we have to change who we are to fit their perspective of who they think we should be. We have a beautiful heritage and history, and instead of letting them write our story for us, it's time we start writing it ourselves. We are more than entertainers. There's nothing wrong with that, but we have way more to offer than that. We are inventors, creatives, scientists, mathematics, doctors, lawyers, teachers, and so much more. We're not begging anybody anymore to see us or hear us. We're demanding respect, Adara said, throwing her fist in the air. Now that's what the hell I'm talking about, the elderly man said, throwing his fist in the air. Everybody in the crowd threw up their fists, cheering each other on. Adara smiled, looking out at the group, and most importantly, her mom was there cheering her on. She always wondered what that would feel like at basketball games or spelling bees, and now she finally got to see what it feels like. We would like to thank everyone for coming out. It's truly amazing to see so many beautiful faces. If you would like to join the organization, there is a sign-up sheet. There are sign-up sheets up front. All you must do is put your name and contact information on there. Hopefully, we will see all of you again. And if you want to donate to the organization, you can talk with Amina, and she will take care of that, Abaddon announced, pointing to Amina. Well, I'm not going to hold you up any longer. Please enjoy the games and music we have and food and drinks we prepared for all of you. The event was a significant success. They had a little over 100 people that showed up and signed up for the organization. They received 2,500 in donations, and some people committed to a monthly donation. The event came to an end, and everyone who came participated in cleaning up after the event. So Adara and the team did not have to stay late to clean up. So what you got planned for tomorrow? Adara asked Amina. I gotta work from 8 to 5, and then I'm free after that, Amina replied. Quit your job and come work for the organization full time, Adara said, walking Amina to her car. Girl, I wish I could, but I got bills to pay. And as much as I love doing this type of work, I can't afford to right now, Amina said, leaning up against her car. Trust me, I understand, and I would not ask you to do this if I didn't know for sure that you would be taken care of. I went to sign the contract with Miss Carroll assistant the other day, and she hired me for a year. And after that year, she will renew my contract if she's satisfied with my work. She also gave me a sign-on bonus, and let's just say that you will be covered. I got a major event I must plan for her, and I need you to come on full time as my assistant. You know I don't trust anybody else to work this close in my business or this organization, Adara said intriguingly. All right, I'll do it. I know you're a woman of your word, and if you say you got me, you do, Amina said. Adara eagerly hugged Amina. Thank you. I love you so much, Adara screamed, squeezing Amina. So can you meet me here tomorrow at 9? Adara asked. We got so much to do. Yes, I can, Amina replied. Okay, great. I will see you in the morning then, Adara said, hugging Amina one last time. Adara walked over to Abaddon's truck where he was sitting, waiting on her to finish talking to Amina. She got in on the passenger side. That was amazing, wasn't it? Adara said, hugging Abaddon. Yes, it was. But I got to be honest, I did not expect that many people to show up. Good thing you prepared all that extra food, or we wouldn't have had enough to feed everybody, Abaddon said. I know, right? Adara agreed. It's happening, babe. It has gone from a dream to be a reality. I'm glad you I'm glad you're a part of this, Adara said, grabbing Abaddon's hand. I'm grateful to be a part of something like this. It's an amazing thing. You're amazing, Abaddon said, kissing Adara's hand. We have a lot of work to do. You ready to come on full time and help take this to the next level? Asked, staring at Abaddon with eager eyes. You know I'm ready. I already put in my 2 weeks' notice. It is my last week there, Abaddon said. Are you serious? Adara asked. Yes, I've been saving up for a while now, and I couldn't let you do all of this work by yourself. We're a team, and it's time for me to be more involved, Abaddon said. Adara and Abaddon finished talking, and he dropped her off at her house. She let her mother use her car so she and her siblings didn't have to wait for her. Adara kissed Abaddon and headed into the house. When she walked into the house, her mother was sitting up on the couch reading her Bible, waiting for Adara to come in. You're still up? Adara asked, hanging her coat on the coat rack and joining her mother on the couch. Yes, I was waiting for you to come in so we could talk, Mary said, closing her Bible and placing it on the table. Okay, is everything okay? Adara asked, scooting close to her mother. Yes, I just wanted to finish the conversation we had at the hospital. I owe you an explanation, and you deserve to know everything, Mary said, grabbing Adara's hand. If it makes you uncomfortable, we don't have to talk about it now, Adara said. I want to get this all out of the way now so we can move forward, Mary said. Adara nodded her head at Mary. Okay, let's talk, Adara said. So the day I left you here with my parents was the day I had to turn myself in. When I was on drugs, I was not myself, and I did many things that I'm not proud of, things I never want to be a part of again. I sold my body to anybody willing to pay just to get high. I was willing to do anything to get high. When drugs take over your mind, you see nothing but that. You do not see family, friends, or self. All you're worried about is where and how you will get your next fix. I had a warrant out for my arrest for failure to appear in court. I was facing charges of prostitution and theft. It took me having a near death experience to see that something needed to change. So I tried many times to make it right. I thought if I turned myself in, I could get clean and make things right. So I gave you to my parents to keep until I got out. Mary said, wiping tears from Adara's face. I know this is hard to listen to, but I want you to know there was never a moment when I didn't think about you. I never gave you up. Mary gasped her words out. My parents did what they thought was best for you, and at that time they were right. They took me to court and got parental rights over you. For years I struggled to get clean, and then I moved away and got pregnant with Marcus. I still was on drugs, but I stopped prostituting. After I had Trinity, I had gone to rehab and finally got clean. They have been through a lot, and I just want what's best for all of you. I'm trying to right my wrongs. It's been hard for me to get employment because of my past and lack of experience in education. So I want you to know I'm trying, and as soon as I can get a job and save up a few checks, I will be out of your space, Mary said. Mary, I mean, Mom, I don't want you all to leave. It is as much you all house as it is mine. You grew up here like I did, and I don't want you to go. I want all of you here with me. It's lonely here sometimes being by myself. So I want y'all to stay. Is enough space. The girls can share a room and you can get grandmother's old room. We just have to get an extra bed for Marcus, or we can give him the basement since I'm not using it anymore, Dara said. You don't know what this means to me. I don't know how I will ever repay you, but I'm grateful. And I know your siblings will be excited too. Marcus might be giving you a hard time because he thinks this is another temporary situation. But once he sees it's not, he will open up, Mary said, stroking the side of Adara's face. I know, Mom. And as far as employment, I have a job for you in my catering business. You still can cook, right? Adara asked jokingly. Girl, now that's something I could never lose, Mary said. They finished talking, said their goodnights, and headed to bed. It's been a week since Amina and Abaddon quit their jobs and came to work full time for the organization. Mary's been doing great in the catering business and has taken some of the workload off of Dara. She now cooks all the food except the vegan meals. Her siblings have adjusted to being there, and Marcus is starting to come around. He feels more at home now that he got his own space in the basement. Today, Adara is having a meeting for the organization, planning an event for Miss Jones. The building is finally finished, and they can now work. They can now get work done. The waiting room is fully furnished with inspirational quotes from the basement hanging up in the sitting area. There's a small glass window office for the receptionist. The two main offices have been divided with Adara, Amina, Akita, and Rosa in one, and Abaddon, Mike, and Ahmad together. They all have their own desk space, and the warehouse has been turned into a large classroom. Adara, Amina, and Abaddon sat in the conference room waiting on Nikita, Rosa, and Ahmad to arrive. It will be their first time being there since the building has been updated. Lydia, a short, plump, brown-eyed woman with short, black, wavy hair, showed them to the conference room. Since it started, she has been a member of the group, and Adara hired her as a receptionist. Thank you, Lydia, Adara said, standing up to greet Akita, Ahmad, and Rosa. Akita is a tall, slimly built woman with dark chocolate skin. She had thick, long, brown, natural hair that she always wore braided to the back. Rosa is a short, curvy Hispanic woman with a sepia skin complexion. She had long, jet black hair that came to the middle of her back. Finally, Ahmad was a tall, brawny Arabian man with a bronze skin color. He had short, black, curly hair with a full beard. You're welcome, Lydia said, closing the door behind her. Hello, everyone. I'm glad you all can make it. We're having this meeting today to come up with a plan to help Miss Jones. I sent everyone an email explaining the situation, and hopefully you all had a chance to read it. Adara addressed the room, looking around the table. Everybody nodded their heads, assuring Adara that they read the email. Great. I would love to hear everyone's ideas, Adara says. Well, I think we should host a fundraising event to raise money for Miss Jones and her family, Rosa suggested. I like the sound of that. Do you have any specific ideas on how we should do that? Adara said. I thought we could do a Justice for Sean block party where we have games, music, and food. Then we can sell tickets for people to come and donate half of the money to Miss Jones. That way, the expenses of hosting the event will be covered and Miss Jones' family will be taken care of, Rosa said. Everybody nodded their heads in agreement while writing down notes. Okay, great. What about you, Akita? What did you come up with? Adara asked. I think we should do in March, bringing awareness to Sean's situation, and we could pass out flyers during this march to tell people about the block party. We should also have Sean's mother speak at the march about what's going on. She has been silent this whole time, and it would be nice to hear from her. Akita said. I'm loving what I'm hearing. All of this sounds great, Adara said. What about the legal sides of things? Abaddon asked. Unfortunately, there is nothing we can do about her. Unfortunately, there's nothing we can do about her job firing her. Ahmad spoke up. There are no laws protecting employees from family emergencies. The place of employment did what they thought was best for them, and unfortunately, Ms. Jones had to be hurt in the process. They are not obligated to wait until an employee can come back to work for family emergencies. She can still speak about it at the march, but legal actions cannot be taken. Now, about the situation with her son being shot, I'm willing to take on this case free of charge. I just need to sit down with her and discuss some things. Ahmad continued, it's unfortunate about the job situation. That's why this fundraiser in March must go well so that we can support our sister ourselves. I appreciate you taking this case, Ahmad. I will personally make sure you're taken care of, Adara promises. Do anybody have anything else to add before we end this meeting? Adara asked. Everybody shook their heads no. All right, well, Rosa, you'll oversee the block party. Akita, you will handle the march. Abaddon and I will set up the meeting with Miss Jones for you. A meeting will check in with you all to make sure everything is going well. And if you need anything, Abaddon will help you with that. Well, if there's anything else, Amina will show you to your desk. Well, if there's nothing else, Amina will show you to your desk. Let's get to work, Adara said. That went well, Abaddon said. Yes, I agree. I already love our team. I believe with all of our skills put together, and we will be unstoppable, Adara said, getting up from her seat. I agree, Abaddon said, hugging Adara. Well, I have to finish setting up this event for Miss Curl and have to come up with a menu with Mom, Adara said. Okay, well, I'm about to get to work. I'll fill Mike in when he gets here, Abaddon said. Okay, I will see you later, my love, Adara said, kissing Abaddon. Adara told Amina she would be out of the office for a while and headed out the door. On her way to her car, she got a text from Miss Jones saying Sean has been moved out of the ICU into a room. The end of chapter 5.